It is my pleasure to introduce this year's student speaker, Ayanna. Please join me in welcoming her back to the stage.
Hello. I'm so excited to be up here right now, and I can't even. I'm gonna talk over some of your heads for a second, but how many of you guys play Mario Kart, or have played Mario Kart? Yeah. Do you know how you could go through those boxes and you can get different prizes? You know the rainbow star? I feel like I have the rainbow star. I'm so honored, so happy to be here. I want to start this speech off by saying that this is a long time coming, and I know you guys know it all too well. 16 years. 16 years of a pursuit of knowledge, a pursuit of an understanding of ourselves, a pursuit of an understanding of others. With this in mind, though, I've been reflecting further about my educational pursuits, and I recognize that so much of what I've learned has come from outside the classroom sphere, and quite crucially from my interactions with other people, with my parents, just from things that were not taught to me in a class formally. This precious thing, defined as a quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment, is wisdom. And I've been reflecting further on it these last few months as adulthood has come near and felt like the next step. To be honest, I don't have any wisdom to offer. What I can do, and I hope to do in this speech, is share with you guys what I've learned about wisdom in these last few months, and 5 things that I've learned and I'm still learning about wisdom. So, one of the first things is about language. Get out of New York City. And I know that feels like the worst thing ever, because we all come to New York because we don't want to go back to where we're from. But get out. Have you ever thought about the way that you spoke when you came to this school versus the way you speak now? The way that I talk now to my friends is drastically different than the way that I talked 4 years ago. I use words that I don't even think I completely understand. And it's just, you learn all these things and you realize these words are really important. But I realize a lot when I go back home how different these two worlds are. You guys know the words, I'm just gonna list a few off: agency, queer, gendered, unpack, decolonize, panopticon, heteronormativity, heteropatriarchy, cisgender, capital, military-industrial complex, prison industrial complex, police state, systemic, systematic, often paired with oppression, normative, non-normative, and my personal favorite, privilege. I've been having to remind myself so much lately that the language I've been speaking these last 4 years exists in a very special world, and being multilingual is really important. Nelson Mandela said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, it goes to his head. If you talk to a man in his language, it goes to his heart. Now, I come from very different worlds. As many of you guys know and you've heard and read, I'm Jamaican. And when I moved to the States at age 7, I spoke a very different language than the language that I spoke when I was coming to college 10 years later. And I've always spoken English, but when I refer to language, I mean the words that I use to relate concepts and to have conversations with people. I've been on a quest lately to relearn these languages that I once spoke, because I feel like I have so much to share, and I'm sure you guys know, you go to college and you're like, there's so much to tell people. And there's so much that I've learned here at Lang that to me, it's important that I'm relatable as I move forward. And that's something that I've learned about wisdom, is kind of taking some steps off of the place that you're at to reach people where they are. So that's number 1. Number 2, a short one, but no less important. Take care of yourself. Don't hesitate to sometimes take a day off. drink a beer, watch an episode of Keeping Up with Kardashians. Really, I know we're not supposed to say that, but we do it. I find myself so often being hard on myself, thinking that things aren't happening fast enough, comparing myself to others in this city, feeling as though I'm losing in some kind of race. There's an Arab proverb that says, "Sunshine all the time makes a desert. Be okay with a rainy day." It's self-care that keeps us going and recharges us so that we can face each day with a kind of energy and excitement that helps us to continue walking through our daily lives. One of my favorite things to do for self-care is to go to a great party. And I know, again, it's not the thing that you talk about in your senior speech at graduation, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's been so important to me because it's been such a stress reliever. You know, every weekend, not every weekend, but some, mom and dad. Woo! Yeah. Didn't realize I get a clap for that one. Going out, as much as I'd like to stay at home and watch an episode of Planet Earth and just chill, I love to go to a Lang party. And you all know the party that I'm talking about. Friday night, you may have been invited directly by the host, or for the Facebook a verse like me, found out about it secondhand by a friend. But it's always in Brooklyn, hopefully on a rooftop, surrounded by folks you previously engaged with in conversation with about the cashew economy and the Ivory Coast in your post-colonial Africa class, drinking PBR from the bodega across the street. After the party, it's definitely time to get something to eat. Depending on where you are in the city, pizza makes the most sense. Sometimes halal stand chicken and rice. My favorite is a taco from a taco truck. One of my favorite memories of a time at Lang, a party at Lang, was my freshman year. My friend Brittany and I traveled to Brooklyn for a party hosted by a new friend of mine. Now, keep in mind, this was a period of low discernment, and if this was today, I would probably not have spent my time going to this party or even considered going, but it's freshman year. You guys know the drill, what happens. So we head to Brooklyn. I'm just gonna keep the party short, but I'm just gonna say, the only thing I remember about this party was inflatable sea creatures. All around the room, a shark, a starfish, inflatable seaweed even. I think I even remember a seahorse. That was actually a mild exaggeration. There was only a seahorse, but it was really weird. And I'm sure you guys all know that weird party that you go to. But I mean, when I talk about self-care though, I really, really see it as important as just a moment to just breathe and to take a break and to realize that breaks are good. The work that many of us are interested in doing is very personal work and it's exhausting. The change that we all envision in this world often moves slowly. I don't know anyone at Lang, and I mean this sincerely, that is not passionate about what they're doing and what they've studied here at school. And that's really, really beautiful. But sometimes that passion can wear us thin because we forget to take breaks. Stop, listen, take care of yourself. It's important. So number 3. One of my great friends that I've made here at Lang is Owen Phillips, and you all may know him. He's a guard at 65 West 11th Street, security guard, and is there every day until around 3:30. Usually after class, I stop by to say hello and have a short conversation with him. And this last week, I was especially struck by a conversation we had right after I turned in my last final to you, Evan. He told me, "Always remember, there are many friends who will come and go in your lifetime, many girlfriends and boyfriends even, but remember, you will only ever have one set of parents." Now, I love my parents, and many of my friends here know that I love my parents, and I talk about them all the time. But it's so easy to forget the things you are thankful for when you never consider them not being there. One thing that I've learned about wisdom is the importance of being truly grateful. I was so moved when I was in Rwanda this past summer, and the gratitude that so many we met had with circumstances I could never imagine. The genocide in 1994 claimed the lives of over 800,000 people, and there was no one we met there who had not had a connection to someone who'd been killed in the violence. Whether a parent, a child, an aunt or an uncle, the devastation was insurmountable. But what we'd see time and time again when we'd meet with folks was thankfulness for what they did have, what they extracted from the storm, so to speak. And I think sometimes we think gratitude means being unrealistic or even ignorant, and that's not it whatsoever. Rather, I see gratitude as a kind of reframing, a stepping out of the picture for a moment. It's energizing, really, and helps us to take the day with positivity and alertness. Today is such an important day for us, and we should all be so proud of our accomplishments, making it to this place. We can't wait on only moments like these to be thankful, because they're very rare moments. Gratitude truly begins in the everyday. Thornton Wilder said, "We can only be said to be alive in these moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures." So, here are some things that I'm grateful for, in no particular order. The opportunity to stand up here and give this speech to so many of you whom I admire. My bike. My wonderful family and friends who are here supporting me right now. My grandfather who came in from Jamaica yesterday. So thankful for it. The Dos Caminos lunch I will devour after this graduation's over. My advisor, Evan Rapport, who's been such a help to me and has been there for me since day one, and I just love him for it. The Pay by the Pound Goodwill outlet in Queens, which, if you haven't been there, I'll tell you about it after graduation. Working limbs and a healthy body, Sparkling apple cider, which I hope will make an appearance at every celebratory graduation function this week. And lastly, financial aid, because I wouldn't be here without it at all. Yeah. I know we've heard it all before. We have so much and we have nothing to complain about, but it's really true. Wisdom asks nothing more. Number 4 is vision. Okay, I want us all in this room, specifically graduates really, to take a moment and close your eyes. Imagine yourself in 10 years. What apartment will you live in? Mine, 131 7th Avenue South. What will you be doing? Now, not what you realistically will be doing or what people tell you you will be doing. What do you want to be doing? Where do you actually want to be? Vision is crucial to me. You can open your eyes now. Vision is crucial to me because it's a force that keeps us moving, one that gives us something to reach for and to expect of ourselves. So much of our lives we are told to be realistic, to understand the kind of world we live in, and to understand our limitations. To be honest, I know my limitations, and I know you guys do too. I know the things that could hold me back, the inequality in this world that could make this road ahead really, really difficult. What I don't know and will never know is the potential I have in this world to affect change and do immense good. It's a glass ceiling, and I can't wait to see the stars that you all see, the places that you all reach. However, you can't get to abundance from a place of lack, and I've been learning so much lately that getting what you want is appreciating the time that it takes to get there. So now, close your eyes again, and think about where you are right now. What this day means, and who you have here supporting you. If no one else, the person to your right, the person to your left. We've spent these last 4 years together in a classroom that, in the beauty of Lang, has required us to learn from each other. And while I respect and revere all of you wonderful professors standing behind me, I have to be honest that much of my learning has come from my fellow classmates in front of me. I see vision and gratitude tied very closely because, as I noted earlier, and I'm going to be totally cheesy graduation-like right now, but bear with me, this life is really a journey, a long one at that, and I am always having to remind myself to take each day as it comes. If you lay down a brick each day with purpose, you'll soon build a house. And lastly, number 5, don't listen to me. Don't listen to anyone for that matter. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Seriously, if something strikes you as important, follow it. But really, the real arbiter of wisdom is you. With all this said, I want to leave you with a quote that has helped me take a step out and recognize my space in this larger context. One last thing that I've learned about wisdom is that everything is a process. Many times when I encounter a wise person, they are older, and I really believe that their old age enables them to step out of the microscopic view of their lives and their own experiences to understand themselves in a broader context. And with that, I leave you with a quote by David Mitchell. My life amounts to no more than one drop in a limitless ocean. Yet what is any ocean but a multitude of drops? Happy graduation.